We are currently witnessing a statistical anomaly in the American music charts that has industry insiders scratching their heads in disbelief. It's not a pop star or a rap icon leading the holiday charge this year. Instead, it's a powerhouse tenor from North London who has effectively bypassed the traditional gatekeepers of the U.S. music industry. News desks across the country are reporting a massive surge in search traffic for Jonathan Antoine, a name that many Americans are only just now learning to pronounce. While the holiday season is usually dominated by the same 5 or 6 legacy artists, Antoine's renditions of classic carols have seen a 400% increase in streaming stateside since November. What makes this story particularly compelling isn't just the vocal talent, it's the sheer speed at which he has infiltrated the American market without a massive promotional budget. Investigative looks into the data show that his Amazing Grace performance has been shared more times in the last 30 days than some of the year's biggest top 40 hits. This isn't just a fluke of the algorithm, it's a cultural shift. We're seeing a massive demographic of American listeners who are tired of the overproduced, synthesized holiday music of the last decade, turning instead toward something that feels ancient, grounded, and undeniably human. Our report tonight looks at how this man, who was once written off by the British press as a one-hit wonder from a talent show, has managed to reinvent himself as the most sought-after voice in America. This British invasion of 2025 is different from the ones we've seen in the past. It's not about rebellion or rock and roll. It's about a singular, operatic force that seems to be healing a very divided audience through the sheer power of nostalgia and technical perfection. To understand the magnitude of this comeback, we have to look back at the footage that the industry tried to bury over a decade ago. In 2012, a 19-year-old Jonathan Antoine walked onto the Britain's Got Talent stage, and the initial reaction from the judges and the world was nothing short of judgmental. He was a shy, oversized teenager with long hair and a visible tremor of anxiety that made the audience cringe before he even sang a note. When Simon Cowell famously told him he was ordinary before he started, he was echoing the bullying that Jonathan had faced his entire life. But the moment he opened his mouth, the narrative changed instantly. Our investigation into his early career reveals that while the public loved him, the pressure behind the scenes was immense. He was being pushed into a classical crossover mold that didn't fit his personality. Sources close to his early management suggest that the young singer was treated more like a product than a person, leading to a period where he felt he had to off himself from the public eye just to survive the mental toll. He was caught in a whirlwind of contracts and expectations that almost crushed his spirit before he reached legal age. For years, he remained a British secret, a talent that the UK audience cherished, but that the global market never quite grasped. But the shy boy narrative is exactly what's fueling his current American viral status. New fans are discovering those old clips and are stunned by the contrast. They see a kid who was mocked and belittled, only to realize he possessed a gift that happens once in a generation. It's the ultimate underdog story, and in a year where the U.S. is looking for symbols of resilience, Jonathan Antoine's early struggles have become the foundation of his current American empire. What the public is seeing now is a man who has quite literally shed his past, appearing as a completely different person than the boy we saw in 2012. We've been tracking the reports of Jonathan's physical journey, and the results are staggering. He has lost over 50 pounds, but the transformation is more than just a number on a scale. It's the way he carries himself, a radical shift in body language that suggests he has finally conquered the internal demons that once kept him hunched over in fear. This physical glow-up has become a major talking point on American social media, with fans dissecting his new look and his newfound sense of fashion. However, our reporting suggests that the physical change was merely a byproduct of a massive mental health overhaul. Jonathan has been incredibly open about his battles with a severe breakdown and the long road to recovery. In an era where mental health is at the forefront of the American conversation, His transparency has created a deep, personal bond with his listeners. They aren't just fans of his voice, they are fans of his survival. We're seeing a trend where his music is being used as the soundtrack for healing and wellness content across TikTok and Instagram. He has become a symbol of the idea that you can be broken by the world and still come back stronger, more refined, and more beautiful than before. This isn't just a weight loss story. It's a story of a man who reclaimed his own identity from the shadows of the past. As he toured the U.S. this year, the cameras aren't just catching a singer. They're catching a man who has finally learned to love himself, and that energy is proving to be more infectious than any marketing campaign could ever dream of being. While the talent has always been there, the fuse for this American explosion was lit by a specific set of digital circumstances that no one saw coming. Our digital forensics team analyzed the viral spike that occurred in early October, and it points to a handful of unedited, raw performances that surfaced on short-form video platforms. These weren't polished music videos. They were clips of Jonathan singing in rehearsal spaces or small venues, where the sheer volume of his voice literally distorted the microphone of the person filming. American audiences, who are increasingly skeptical of industry plants and auto-tune performers, were hit with the realization that this man's voice is 100% authentic. One specific clip of him hitting a high note in "Oh Holy Night" has racked up over 15 million views in the US alone. This organic discovery is the holy grail of modern marketing. When people feel like they've discovered an artist on their own, their loyalty is tenfold. We're also seeing a massive trend of reaction videos, where professional vocal coaches and casual listeners alike are filmed losing their minds over his technique. This has created a feedback loop. The more people react, the more the algorithm pushes his holiday catalog. Furthermore, there are reports that several high-profile American influencers have started using his tracks as the background for their homesteading and traditional holiday content. This has aligned Jonathan's brand with a return to traditional values and classic beauty, which is currently a massive trend in the United States. He has inadvertently become the face of a movement that rejects the plastic nature of modern fame in favor of something that feels like it has a soul. But beneath the soaring melodies and the viral fame, there are darker whispers regarding the legal battles Jonathan had to fight to even get this music to American ears. For years, it was rumored that Jonathan was trapped in a series of restrictive contracts that prevented him from touring the U.S. or releasing the specific style of music he loved. Our investigation into his career hiatus reveals a complex web of industry politics. It appears that he had to navigate a legal minefield to gain his independence, a process that often leaves artists broke and bitter. Instead, Jonathan used that time to refine his craft in secret. There are accusations surfacing from within the industry that his previous representation tried to suppress his solo growth to maintain control over his image. By breaking away and choosing the path of an independent artist, he took a massive financial risk, one that is finally paying off in the U.S. market. Because he now owns a larger stake in his own work, he has been able to bypass the UK first release strategy and go straight to the American public. This rebel move has earned him a lot of respect among U.S. musicians who have faced similar label drama. We've reached out to several industry insiders who suggest that Jonathan's success is a nightmare scenario for traditional labels because he's proving that a world-class talent doesn't need a major corporate machine to dominate the charts. He has effectively exposed the fact that the public still has the power to choose their own icons, regardless of what the suits in London might want. This sense of stolen freedom is baked into every note he sings, and the American audience, which values independence above all else, is eating it up. As we look toward 2026, the question on everyone's lips isn't if Jonathan Antoine will stay famous, but rather, what clandestine deal he has already signed. Sources in Las Vegas have tipped us off to a series of closed-door meetings between Jonathan's team and some of the biggest casino moguls on the Strip. The rumor mill is churning with reports of a residency that would rival the likes of Celine Dion or Josh Groban. But the speculation doesn't stop at a stage show. There are unconfirmed leaks suggesting that he has been in the studio with a legendary American pop country icon, someone whose name is synonymous with the U.S. holiday season. If these rumors are true, a collaboration of that magnitude would be earth-shattering for the music industry. It would signify a total merging of worlds, placing a British tenor at the very heart of American heartland music. We've also noticed a series of cryptic posts on his social media featuring American landmarks, leading many to believe that a massive nationwide tour is already in the final stages of planning. The secret project,